Good job.
20?
Did you lose that?
I took a couple of them, I guess.
Carry with you? All right, we'll see now.
Not my finger.
We actually did have another speaker scheduled who is late. I'll kick his ass later. But I guess this would be our grand finale. If we could find him, he's kind of disappeared on us.
He went up to the bathroom.
You go to the bathroom? All right, Jonathan's in the bathroom, so you get me.
Can we talk to you?
Any questions?
Keep it in the bag.
Probably did. I wouldn't doubt it. It's getting into costume. Can't believe the guy left.
He didn't. He left his own house.
You left this in there?
Yeah.
Pacemaker, camera.
Yeah.
Just taking all
Got
this
the
stuff.
back.
On eBay.
Yeah, right?
It's his turn.
What about you?
What about me?
Talk about you. You know you want it.
It's not about me.
Everybody knows your whole life story.
Yeah, you guys watch all this crap on YouTube all the time. You know you know about me. Does anybody have any questions for me? I'll take questions till Jonathan gets back. No, nobody had questions.
I got a question for you.
You have a question. What's your question, Mike?
I was watching a couple of them. The difference between XLR and the difference between the XLR data cable and the XLR audio for running DMX. One video said there was no difference, and another video you broke two of them down, and there was a difference. So is there really a difference? I can't remember which one came which order.
Yes.
Well, that's the cool thing about, I guess, what we do, is that we learn as we go.
I got one.
And oh, we have our speaker, that's a good thing. I was wrong in the first video. And I got called on it, and I got yelled at by Ben Stowe at Northern Lights FX. And I got yelled at by a lot of people. And I went ahead and I got the cables. I figured out what the difference was. It's basically a frequency difference. Yeah, there is a difference. There absolutely is a difference.
Thank God, because I just wasn't
You did a good thing. All right, we have all our speakers in the room right now, which is a good thing because I was killing time because you guys left me. So we're going to bring up another guy who I met. It's a funny story about that actually. One of my first interviews I did here at Mobile Beat was outside in the smoking area, and there's a guy named Doc Raymond. Is my Uncle Doc Raymond in here? He's one of the setup guys. We were talking. He's got a radio station out of Detroit, Michigan. I remember the interview really well because I've watched it several times since, just because it's kind of a funny story. Anyway, so we're talking, right, and we hear this boom, 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 boom. Like, oh, somebody's bumping tunes, you know. And we turn around, and here's this white minivan. I mean, it's rocking. And I'm like, wow, the soccer mom's bumping tunes. And we just keep doing the interview. So then I am in Chicago for Mobile Beat Chicagoland this summer, and this tall guy with a tan, with a Pioneer shirt on, walks up to me and says, "You were talking shit about me in your videos." I said, "Excuse me? You call me a soccer mom?" Give it up for Jay Brannan. Come on up, Jay.
Thanks, Brian. Yeah, true story. I saw it on DJ Tutor, realized it was me, called him out in Chicago, and invited me to build kind of a little friendship thing. Yeah. Since then, yeah, awesome. Sorry I was running late. We had to finish the show. I'm with Pioneer Pro DJ. I'm also a full-time mobile DJ. I apologize that I haven't seen where the speakers have talked about, but
So you're on your own.
I'm just
wing it.
I'm just gonna wing it. I'm in the Southern California market, an area about an hour outside of San Diego. So San Diego's the mainstay of my business. I'm involved, there's actually a couple of them. I'm involved with 6 other DJs in a group called The Best DJ For You that we started, with the ideology that there's no such thing as the best DJ, but there is the best DJ for you. So we're like-minded, we're professional, we go out, we're full-time, we're single operators. And what we found, it seems, is lighting. Uplighting. And more uplighting. And more uplighting. And it's not only a great tool to sell, but it's a great tool to use as a bargaining chip. Because as the economy goes, people starting with, well, I wasn't going to spend that much. Maybe, this other DJ will do it for a few hundred less. Now those lights that are in the garage, you can include. Now you're not losing anything, because they're just going to sit there. If you've got gear that you're not using, it's just sitting, use it. Take it out and do uplighting. And for those of you that don't do uplighting, when I mention uplighting, I'm referring to lighting up walls. Whether you use a par can, a wash can, whatever it is, but you put a color on the wall that tends to draw something from the event. It's flowers that the bride has, centerpieces, gifts, favors, whatever it is, but you want to accent that around the room. Usually, let's say they charge anywhere from $20 to $50 a par can. Anyone using par cans? Anyone doing uplighting? What do you charge per can? What do you charge?
10 to 25.
Yeah. In the back? Same? Okay. Dollar more than me. I would like someone from INS to come in here, because he has an accent. He might be from somewhere else.
You guys might be on a number today, just say.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Now that I know half the UK is here. And it's really changed things. I think it's added a lot of money. And obviously we all do this to make people happy and share their special day, but at the end of the day, we've got to make money, we've got to get paid. And what I'm finding is, I do a site inspection. Physically go to the site, map it out with the client, but what works really well is to bring a couple of lights. I use a small par 36 and a color wash, and physically plug them in around the room. Because once clients can see what happens with this lighting, it really does change everything. You can do schematics, you can use programs. I know some DJs do on their laptops, I don't. I just simply set the dip switches, what color I need, let them run. Sometimes I'll DMX hook them up, which is just a mic cable from one to the next. When dancing starts, they start spinning, they start changing colors, everyone's happy. But it's really just getting ahead of the client, getting in the room, looking around, and physically pointing out where these lights are going to go and the value. One of the things I think my market, and not knowing what everyone's making, and not to post or anything like that, it's a high-end market. I mean, DJs are probably averaging $300 an hour for a wedding. Then you add lights, you add everything else, it gets up there. I think it's the time we're spending. I think we're afforded that luxury of spending the time, doing questionnaires, establishing music lists ahead of time. Just for what it's worth, I meet with my clients 2 to 3 times, probably within the first 6 months. The last 6 months, maybe once to twice. So I've met with a client 5 times. But I've built that trust and that relationship up that they know the day of their wedding. Not only am I going to be there, but I have them as my best interest. And at least for me, and again, I'm not here to preach about this is what you should do, but for me, it works really well. You establish that rapport, you build that sense of professionalism and reliability, and you're accountable. And you stick by what you tell them. You don't bait and switch yourself. You don't have somebody else rolling up with you that's going to do something and mess up the gig. Use top-end gear. You're involved in any group like this. And I hope ultimately the goal of this is to get a group going. Some sort of a worldwide DJ Tutor Association that all of us can proudly say, oh, well, remember DJ Tutor, there's 10 million of us. We all have the same ideology. We're all professionals. We all want the best, not only for ourselves, but for our clients. It's really all I got. I don't really have a lot today. I'm sorry. I was kind of like running around thinking like, oh, and the things I do. And I think it's easier sometimes to tell other people what you do or what you've done. And
Never seen you for a
then,
while.
it's not, I'm just, well, mixed drinking, and I'm like eyeing the beer. It's too distracting. But any questions, anything? Oh, cool, that's all good.
How do you get your hair so shiny?
Hard plus.
I don't even know what doom I'm squirting again. It's probably all to one side. I don't know. Is it a little shiny today? It could be pert.